So when I first met Pastor Dale, it was through Royal Rangers, and I became part of his men's ministry team and served on that team for about 13 years. And then later on, I became his associate and we did that for 5 years. And through those years, we've built a good relationship.
I brought him on. He's a great associate for 5 years. Knew he wanted to pastor. I knew that was in his heart. We had talked about it many times. Really on a truck ride home from a minister's adventure with Lee Metcalf and I, he told me about the Apache Junction situation.
A struggling church in Apache Junction. They hadn't had a pastor there for about 9 months. And Pastor Lee approached Pastor Dale and said, "Hey, would you guys look at this church and maybe take it under your wing and make it a packed church and try and revive it?" So they talked to me, and I was interested. I knew God had a call in my life, and I knew one day I wanted to pastor a church. It was a lot closer to my house, and so we said, "Sure, we'll look into it and we'll see what God has." And so
usually I'm kind of a slow draw, but I said, "You know what, Lee? I think I will pray about it." And we did, and I asked Lawrence to pray about it. He come back a week later, maybe a little quicker than I wanted him to, and said, "I think that's it." And it was. Truly, it was the Lord. And in a very short period of time, he was at Apache Junction, and the Rock Church Scottsdale had a packed church.
A packed church is a parent-affiliated church. This is where a church that sits under the governance of another church. So we share the same bylaws, we share the same board. Pastor Dale, being the senior pastor at the Rock Church, was the head pastor over both churches. But I did the ministry at the campus that I was at. And so Pastor Dale and I, because I was an associate for 5 years, we had a real good relationship.
The upside, you raise up people and send them, but then you lose them. But God always sends other folks. You know, when you send one out, he sends 3 more to equip. But
he didn't micromanage me. He didn't come down on me. He didn't, tell me what to do. He pretty much let me run that church how I felt it should be run.
But I did know this, and I've reflected. I had the right man.
My wife and I, 6 of our kids and 11 other people from the previous church started there on the first Sunday in December of 2019.
And so you could walk in both churches with the same core values, a very similar vision, but a different way of doing things, different preaching style, different feel. In fact, his church loves me, but they wouldn't want me to pastor them for 4 weeks because Lawrence is their pastor.
You made it through COVID, and I feel if you can make it through COVID, you can make it through anything. And so we kept on going, and the Lord just kept blessing us and kept growing until we finally outgrew that building that we were at. And so we had to jump to a new building.
Our heart was never to keep Apache Junction as a packed church. We could have kept it forever or not, but our heart was not to have such a grip on it that we wouldn't release them to become a general council church, which just today in our EP meeting, they are officially a general council church. So self-governing, have grown, have matured. I mean, even for me, how good is that? The Rock Church has been the joy of my life, and I'd do it all over again.